Doctor Nabs, and welcome to my show. And now,
So what is the Sirius Mystery, as you have discovered?
Well, it's a mystery because it's unsolved,
Mm-hmm.
and it's to do with the star Sirius, so it's the Sirius Mystery. What more do you want to know, Nabil?
What is it? What is the Sirius story?
Well, the problem is that we've got this information which can't be explained. The information comes from a tribe in Africa, in Mali, the Dogon, as you know, who have astrophysically precise numerical information and predictive information, which has now been substantiated by radio astronomers.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be chance that they know the precise orbital period of an invisible star.
Mm-hmm.
So they draw pictures of the orbit and they know the orbital period. But the information goes far beyond that, because they then describe this star as being made of a substance which does not exist on the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They specifically say that,
Mm-hmm.
and they talk about how intensely heavy it is. And we know that Sirius B is indeed made of superdense matter, which does not exist in our solar system.
Mm-hmm.
And so where did the information come from? That's the Sirius Mystery.
Right.
Now if you ask the Dogon where it came from,
Mm-hmm.
they will tell you. And that's what nobody wants to hear, because they say that their ancestors were given this information by visitors from the system of the star Sirius. That's what they say. Now, we may not like it,
Mm-hmm.
but that's their story and they're sticking to it. I think that we have been visited here on Earth by extraterrestrials, and that we are being monitored. At the very least, we're being monitored.
This has continued from the first visitations up to the present day.
Yes. Now, we may not be being monitored in what's known now as real time.
Mm.
It may be a retrospective recording by cosmic anthropologists with technology that's got recording devices that are now so small with this advanced technology of these extraterrestrials that they're invisible to us, as ours are becoming. We're already talking in nanotechnology
Yeah.
speculations about computers the size of atoms and all this kind of thing. Well, imagine that you'd gone beyond talk and had actually done it.
Mm.
So there could be a speck of dust floating in this room which would be quite up to recording our conversations and filming everything and transmitting that off to some sort of giant supercomputer somewhere that's orbiting in the outer solar system, creating a massive record of the history of this planet and its civilization.
Why are people so scared to consider that possibility, particularly the established order?
You might be worried about spies and bombs and plots, terrorists, invasions, coups. All sorts of things can happen that security agencies concern themselves with, which they call security issues.
Mm-hmm.
But they are all dwarfed in significance
Mm.
by the ultimate security issue, which is one which affects the entire fate of the entire planet.
Mm.
Namely, is there life on other worlds? And if so, what's our position in relation to it?
Mm-hmm. When Sirius Mystery was first published, I mean, did you have any kind of attention from the secret police or anything like that?
I have had a lot of trouble have lost work and income and business deals and friends and opportunities and all sorts as a direct result of direct interference by security agencies.
Mm-hmm.
And I speak here only of the examples of that which were confirmed
Mm-hmm.
to me by people who told me that they had seen or witnessed or been approached. So I'm not speaking of what I'm imagining.
No.
I'm only speaking about those things that I know.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I regret to say that the security agency, which seems to have been the most passionately opposed to me, it was the CIA.
Yeah.
Even though I live in Britain, the British were much more laid back about such things than the Americans, who really were frothing at the mouth on this issue and just would not leave me alone. Most people are in denial about most things, you may have noticed. It's called human life and human culture, and you know, we don't like to face anything really to speak of. Of course, we all are sufficiently in denial that we convince ourselves that we're not in denial about anything and that we're facing everything. But the truth is that we're facing very little, as little as we can possibly get away with facing. The problem with the information from the Dogon is that it's so precise. You can't explain it away. The central prediction that I made in the 1970s, based upon the Dogon information, was that a third star in the Sirius system would be confirmed. Well, that's what happened. Some radio astronomers, after studying perturbations for 8 years, published a technical article in a technical journal confirming the existence of this star. Yeah. So the central prediction was confirmed.
Mm-hmm. What do the Dogon people say is the reason for that contact between the terrestrials and the extraterrestrials? Why did they come? What was the purpose?
That's a bit vague. But they say these beings came from a planet, but that they didn't go home, that they're still around. They seem to have gone back to this orbiting mothership, to use our modern terminology, which they call the star of the 10th moon. There is one moon in the solar system which is different from all other moons.
Yeah.
And it is the 10th moon of Saturn, known as Phoebe. It seems to have no craters. It's completely smooth as far as we can tell on its surface, which doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's in this weird orbit, which is quite unlike any other moon. And it might be that Phoebe, this 10th moon of Saturn, is the ship described by the Dogon, and it's full of numbos floating around in their fish tanks, waiting to wake up.
Do they have a description of them?
Very precise descriptions of them. The Namo didn't have legs, but instead had a fishtail and was aquatic, apparently amphibious. And the Greeks maintained the same thing. You know, Athens was founded by a fish-tailed aquatic being, and Chinese civilization was founded by Puxi, who was an aquatic fish-tailed being. We have here a very widespread tradition over huge stretches of the globe, maintaining the civilization was founded by aquatic or amphibious beings. And we can't get away from this unless we're in denial.